introduction slash disclaimer that I am tacking on at the beginning of every one of these videos. Please watch it at least once before you skip it for the rest of them. Surprise! My younger sister filmed a reaction to my reaction videos. So, it is not just me and my feelings and opinions toward these games that you're gonna get her ideas and opinions too. When I first filmed these videos, I was doing it super brief because I never know what to expect out of YouTube. I didn't expect such a huge response from my introduction thing, so maybe you guys actually do want some more. So, these are like 3 to 4 times longer than they originally were, and my sister added a whole lot of input and reminded me of a lot of stuff too along the way. So, I hope you enjoy. And I was also going to say, yeah, I do not have any help editing these videos, so it will take a while for me to get all of these Final Fantasy videos up, especially now that I have even longer content to piece together and present to you. So I really hope it's worth it by the time it's done. Remember, I am a story explorer on an adventure to think critically even while enjoying the fun of whatever I'm watching, playing, or reading. This is my goal. Therefore, it's easy for me to be wrong, and I'm open to comments that disagree with me. I only ask that they are polite and that you provide the evidence-based reasoning backing up what you're saying the same way that I try to make sure that I am too. Emotions always get in the way. I am a very emotional person, but please, we need our brain turned on here. Please leave room for misunderstanding as well, because it could just be that I worded something badly. And equally important is the factor of nostalgia. I am treading all over my own nostalgia when it comes to the Final Fantasy games. I spent my most emotional teenage years playing these things the first time around. I have multiple reasons for the nostalgia to be intense, but with this in mind, remember that I am most likely going to be treading all over your nostalgia as well. And therefore, I hope that you will keep that in mind before leaving a comment if/when I strike a nerve. All of the following is based on my own experience with these games, and that is specifically the games themselves and what I remembered and noticed while playing them, and while replaying them, because some of my opinions changed along the way. And with all of that out of the way, I hope you enjoy these videos. If you do, please like the video or leave a comment so that I know. And if you don't like them, go ahead to dislike it or leave a comment explaining why. Just like I said, please be polite while doing it, because I refuse to let fights happen in my comment section, and I will delete comments if that's what it takes to stop a fight. So, enjoy. Now I'm just awkwardly over here picking my nose on the edge of the camera. Hello, and thanks for clicking on this video. Number 1 in the series about Final Fantasy. First of all, the ones that I did not play. Number 1, Final Fantasy 1. There are no default names. They're known as the Warriors of Light. However, the bad guy does have a default name. His name is Garland. And that's why it's kind of funny to me. I guess if they have no default name, I guess that's why, like, I know the name Garland. I don't know from where. I don't know if it's Dissidia or what, because I did see some of those videos. I know the name Garland. That seems to be a fairly well-known bad guy, and yet I'm like, FF9. Garland is the guy that is on Terra. You just made your spoilers I'm going to have to cut out. Sorry. Garland's from Terra. He is like a bad guy. The point is,
you don't hear about him until like
Final Fantasy 1. I'm like, why do I know the name Garland of all things? Why is that bad guy so familiar? Because I wasn't thinking of FF1's Garland, apparently. I was thinking of 9's Garland, because I forgot his name was Garland.
I didn't realize FF1 had a Garland. Later. I didn't realize FF1 had a Garland.
I looked up this information online. I got all the names from online.
Yeah.
They said
but that's where
online that his name is Garland.
That actually might be why they called him Garland, as a nod back to 1.
Maybe.
Because they do that in other games. Nods to other games, other of the Final Fantasies. Why is there a Cid in every Final Fantasy? Why is there a Biggs and Wedge in every Final Fantasy?
Well, but that's not necessarily a nod to the past. That's just it's become a tradition. I'm pretty sure I say his name
is a Garland
yet I still didn't make it. Just like with Shinra. And anyway,
Shinra,
way too long.
I didn't even notice. I didn't remember Shinra, and I played 10 too.
Except that when I literally looked at you and said the kid in the 10, you're like, Shinra, in 7. I said Shinra, and you're like, yeah, FF7. Like, instantly right off the bat as soon as I said it. So clearly you did remember something.
Well, there you go.
Or you remembered it as I said it, because, like, I said, I was trying to get to my climax and you stole my punchline because you said, yeah, FF7. punchline! You stole my punchline!
The way my brain works sometimes, I swear. Living with ADHD people is not a good thing when you are not ADHD. Continue.
Who are the characters in that game? What is that story about? I haven't got a clue. Not a clue. Final Fantasy II, Firion, but also apparently Maria, Guy, Leon, Minwu, Joseph, Gordon, Lelia, Ricard, Scott, Hilda, Paul, Sid.
We'll still have such normal names after all the other ones.
I don't know if anyone in my family has played Final Fantasy 1 or Final Fantasy 2. I intended to, but I don't remember why I got Final Fantasy 3 first. And we'll get to it, but I haven't even actually finished Final Fantasy 3 yet, so why would I buy 1 and 2 yet? Final Fantasy 4, the main character is Cecile, but there's also Kain, Rydia, Tayla, Edward, Rosa, Yang, Palom, Porum, Sid, Ed, and Fusoya. And Final Fantasy 5, who has Bart, but also has Lena, Gallifreris, and Cryle, or however you say that name. Those names sound way more familiar to me. One of my brothers and my younger sister both played both of these, but I personally haven't yet. Though like 1 and 2, I was/am intending to play them at some point. Final Fantasy 13, Lightning is the main character, but there's also Snow, Oriba di Vanilla, Saz, Hope, and Oriba Yunfang, plus, because apparently there's a whole ton of characters in that one too. I highly doubt I am ever going to play this one. I absolutely will eventually one day watch it, if I remember to actually watch it, because I keep forgetting about it. But play it? Highly, highly unlikely. Why? Because I would have to buy a PlayStation 3, and because I can watch it. This is going into the argument of it is a game versus it's a really long movie, which I didn't intend to really talk about yet, but I mean, there you go. Maybe it would surprise me like 12 has spoilers, but if it's possible to easily watch the entire thing without a hiccup, you are at the very least straddling the fence of stop pretending and just make it a movie, alright? Mm-hmm. This is getting so frustrating, it's irritatingly insulting. Also, like, wow, what is with all these rabbit trails of sequels? There's a 13-2 and 13-3 Lightning Returns? And how are the Agito things related? And they still consider 15 somehow related, even though they completely changed 15 into something entirely different?
I don't think people still consider 15 related.
When I look it up online, there's apparently this thing, it's a sub, I forget what it's called, but there's the Final Fantasy 13 and 2 and 3. There's Agito, and there's 2 or 3 of those ones, and 15, all listed under this sub something or other. That I forget what it's called, and I didn't look at it super
they're still
closely.
Listing 15 under there because it technically was versus 13 at one point.
I didn't look super closely at it, so I don't know what it is exactly that links
because
these
I feel
games,
like
but
versus
Wikipedia links
13
them.
was supposed to be more connected to 13. But
Yes,
then something
original
happened,
content
and
was.
then they came out with 13.2, and then they pushed it back even farther, and then they came out with 13.3, and then they're like, well, we can't make it versus 13 anymore. Like,
Yeah, but I have no clue.
Decade long.
This is why I said I wasn't going to go into the Final Fantasy world, because I'm like, what are all these other things and how are they related? I'm so confused, and this is more related than Tactics in Dissidia is, but then there's other things that I've seen that are like Final Fantasy something, I'm like, huh? But anyway, even though they completely changed 15 into something entirely different from what they promised us, and I'm still sour to this day that they never delivered, because like, I saw the videos, the teaser videos that they released, I was so curious, but I will have to forever remain curious for eternity, because they changed the whole game. Thanks a lot, Square Enix. Apart from that, if you want to hear any kind of breakdown on Final Fantasy 13, you'll have to let me know in the comments, and I'll be more active in finding it and watching it and letting you know what I think, because I haven't watched it, so I haven't got a clue. I can't tell you anything about it. Final Fantasy 15, the main character is Noctis, but there's also Ignis and Gladiolus and Prompto and +++, meaning there's a bunch of other characters too. I also highly doubt I will ever play this one either, for basically the same reasons as 13, except that you need a PlayStation 4 for this one, which is even worse than a PlayStation 3, which has a much higher chance of having other games I'd like to play than 4 does. Okay, so making a game this big is kind of cool on one hand. On the other, it gets literally exhausting when they keep doing this. And yes, I forgot they had done it this many times. Because Final Fantasy VII did it. We'll get there. Final Fantasy 13 does it, which I kind of forgot, but also at the same time I knew there was at least 2 of them. 10 has a sequel, and 15 does it. Like, people, my head is exploding. I seriously want to go back to the days when the game was the game, one and done, that's the end of it, versus these a piece here, a piece there, segments and sections and add-ons. I watched Final Fantasy 15, I'm positive I did, like, the whole thing. But either I just don't remember much because that was years ago, or there really is a lot of stuff missing from it, because there seems to be a lot of questions in my head right now that I'm like, was that ever answered? I seem to have been confused by that. Was that ever straightened out? What was that video? I don't remember where that one fit in. Hold on, wait a minute. It was quite a while ago, like I said, but still, I guess I'm going to have to rewatch that one. I saw the movie, too, The Kingsglaive. I mean, wow, it made me mad. Like, years and years and years ago, but I still remember that it made me mad. I don't even remember, like, what it was exactly about it, but, like, the main character guy and the size of the sacrifice he had to make, well, there's stupid friggin' things that, well, who are they again? The past kings or something? The arrogance and the, I hope you know what I'm talking about if you watched it, because I don't know how to better explain it. It's been way too long since I watched it. All I remember is being mad about it. And also, I still don't actually see the relevant connection to Final Fantasy 15 with that one. But apparently there is one. Then there's The Brotherhood, which is an actual animation series that I either totally forgot about or didn't even know about to begin with. So I'm like, huh? Wait, what? How come I haven't seen that yet? Or did I and forgot that I watched it? Oh boy. Yes, that's what it's called.
Oh, that's what the anime was called?
Yes.
Oh, right, there. Well, there you go. I didn't even remember that's what the anime was called. But I never watched the anime.
Yeah, that's
I'm
terrible.
positive
I really
you
did.
watched the anime.
Now
I
I'm
never
thinking
did.
I actually
you
really
watched
did.
the anime. After we watched Kingsglaive, you watched the anime, and I never did, and then I think you started into 15.
Oh, I forgot so much. It's like
Yeah,
I
I don't
didn't see
know
it.
if
Yet
you
there's
ever
these tiny
finished
glimpses to prove I
watching
did.
15, but you watched the anime.
That's frustrating.
You watched the anime. I know you watched the anime.
I released the Noctis and Luna MV that I made after watching all that stuff on April 3rd, 2017. But okay, that makes more sense now. If it really was literally 7 years ago.
Yeah, but you did watch it. I remember you watched it.
Yes, as soon as you said that, I was convinced I must not because it didn't sound familiar. But as soon as you said I did, I'm like, wait a minute, I've got flashes of an anime in my head that I'm pretty sure they have 15 characters. Oh gosh, I did right. They made this one weirdly complicated, okay? If they could make a story as big as they did in FF12 all within one game, we'll get there. I don't understand why this one got so weird. Not to mention, it's like they themselves know by using movies and animation that the stupid game can't and really shouldn't be called a game. It should also have been a movie or short drama. Like, why did you bother making this a game? If you were going to make movies and animation and all the rest of that stuff knowingly right from the start that you have to add in order to get the whole story there, just make the whole thing an animation or a movie or something. Why did you bother making it a game? But that's all I can say about it because I haven't played it, and it's been a long time since I watched it. All I remember for sure is that I made a music video for Noctis and Luna. Because what I remember of their story kind of makes me want to cry. Like, over in a corner with a box of tissues. But apart from that, if you want me to do a better job covering this one, again, tell me, and I'll go rewatch it so that I can do that. Moving on to Final Fantasy 16. The main character is Clive, but there's also Joshua and Jill and Torgal and Sidolphus and Benedicta gag and Hugo and Dion and Barnabas. I will most likely never play this one. Wait, what? There's a PlayStation 5 already? How did I miss that / forget that fact? Torgal's the dog. No, I know. I'm pretty sure that's his name.
Is he a dog or a wolf, honestly?
He is pretty big. They act like he's a dog. They call him a puppy, I think. I don't know. He does look more like a wolf, but I thought he was a dog.
Well, he probably is. It's just to me.
You missed my epic reaction to Benedict.
And Hugo and Dion.
Yeah, his name is not just Sid. They call him Sid throughout the entire thing, but in this one, Sid is a nickname because his full name is Sidolfta or whatever. I just said.
Yeah, but they have to have a Sid in every one, so.
Yeah, but this is the first time they give him a full name.
PlayStation 1 came out in, what, 99? 98.
Dude, my head is still stuck in the past. I listened to that K-pop song that was made about the PlayStation 4. Like, literally when PlayStation 4 came out, it was such a big deal. It's like you had to line up and win a draw in order to get a Final Fantasy
Dude, every
4.
PlayStation coming out.
No,
is a massive big
none
deal,
of them
but
were
yeah.
the deal that 4 was, from what I've heard. When 4 came out, you could
But I
not
think it was
buy it in
because
the
of
stores. You had to win it in a draw.
The remake for 7. But at the same time,
They
like
made
I say,
such a big
the
deal of
very
it, and
first
then that was only,
PlayStation
like,
came out in like what, 98?
But that's not my point. My point is that PlayStation 4 made such a massive deal, and
Yeah.
then, like, 5 literally just snuck in there like it's not a
This
thing.
is true. But at the same time, 5 in
what?
a little over 20 years, like almost 25 years, that actually makes sense. Yeah, it's still kind of excessive, but at the same time, 5
They
in 20
still,
years.
in my opinion, need to stop it, because they are doing this, I'm convinced, to make money, because you have to buy a whole new console
to
as
play
well
another
as the
Final
whole
Fan-
new
to-
game.
To play another Final... Yeah. They do. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying...
To be fair, so nobody attacks me for it if I put this into my video, to be fair, they are also upgrading games so you can play them on the next console, so most of them you're not entirely losing.
Generally.
You don't have to keep the whole collection, because
Yeah.
they do upgrade games for the next console. There are a lot
Well,
of them.
and with
Okay, to be fair, they do do that.
4, it's more like Steam or an app game where you can download them onto your PlayStation type thing.
Yes.
You're buying
But at
it
least,
by downloading
at least
it.
I'll be fair and say they are doing that. So maybe if I got a 4 instead of all of them in a collection, I could have had
Yeah.
all of them in one go.
Yeah, I don't know how many of them,
But
but
see,
I think they go back
I thought
to... I
4s were
think
still like
they go back
insanely
to at least
expensive.
7.
I cannot afford that.
I think they go back to at least 7 to be able to do that with.
But anyway, this video is
But,
10 minutes.
yeah.
We're only 8 minutes in, and this is
On
already
top of
17 and a
that-
half. What I've seen so far, this is not a game. But keywords is so far.
Because watching this right here.
But when you're
is what
watching it too,
truly
you
set
don't
me
always
off
see
on
all the
this whole
gameplay
spoiler
actually
script
as well.
that I'm
No,
telling
it
you
Because they're
already.
cutting it out.
I am paused at 16:48, which is the 13 summers earlier moment. And for as long as it lasts, I plan on filming some kind of reaction to this while I'm watching it, which is why I all of a sudden up and went, you know what, I have to film something about the other Final Fantasies too, if I want to do that one. But for now, that's all I can say about 16, because I know, like, zero about it. However, the most irritating thing under the sun is that while I'm watching this thing, I'm becoming more and more convinced that I did watch it once before. There are so many
16?
things. Yes, there are so many
You
things.
might
in it.
have. I don't know
Once
how
it
long it's
came-
been out.
I started watching it again. At this point, I forget where I am now. But
I don't know how long it's been out.
2023, I think.
So you might have started watching it at one point.
Or if I haven't seen the whole thing, I've seen videos from it, because like the whole fight between, I guess he is Ifrit and the Phoenix. The whole fight between them, I'm like, I've seen this before. I swear I have. And then other little snippets of things, I'm like, I swear this is way too familiar. There's something about too much of it that is too familiar. I have either seen a bunch of different clips of videos and stuff, or I have seen the thing before.
Hard to say. Or you're having massive deja vu.
I hate deja vu.
I know, I do too.
Final Fantasy 11 and 14. Both of these are multiplayer games, so no, I've never played them, and no, I never will. I am not a gamer anymore, and even back when I did play multiplayer games, playing with total strangers on the online was never my forte.
Although that Final Fantasy 11 opening movie is heartbreaking.
Yes. I don't remember it at the moment, but I've always believed that. But that actually makes it more frustrating to me when they're like, here's a story with characters to care about. Do you ever see them again throughout the game?
Well, I thought that one kid, that one guy at the end is that kid. So I have no idea if you actually can play.
Is he the character
I-
you're playing throughout the game? I thought that was one of the ones where you could pick which character you want to be. Like, it's a
Well, that's where I say
nameless
I think he can be
character
one of the
class
characters,
thing.
but yeah, I don't know enough about 11. I know it was massively
I
disappointing
haven't looked into
when
them
it came
because
out, but
I heard it was, but who knows whether it was or whether it was just people. Nostalgia! It's supposed to be a single player game. What is this multiplayer? Whatnot? This is a totally different crowd here.
yeah, that I don't know.
Because
It
you do
very
know
likely
the
could
crowds
have
of
been
people that play
that.
like single player versus multiplayer, they're actually not the same crowd as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
I crossed over into
Me.
both, but I'm definitely more so the single player than I ever was.
I'm always going to be a single player. I
Yes.
don't like multiplayer games for the most
But you were
part.
talking over here. I said within family, yeah, that's one thing, but strangers online has never been my forte, even though I did it. We're never going to get finished this tonight. We'll be up until 3 in the morning.
It's only 9:30. Come on.
Yeah, but we literally just spent 21 minutes on 9 minutes and 18 seconds. Okay, Now we shall move on to the Final Fantasy games that I did play, which means that is the end of this video. I don't know what you thought about it. That's all the Final Fantasies that I haven't played and I don't know anything about and can't say anything else about. Have you played them? What is your opinion on them? What did you like best about them? What did you hate most about them? Do you consider them games? What do you know what I mean between this is a game and this is not a game? Are you as frustrated as I am about that? I sincerely wish that games would go back to being games. I really miss games. But that is the first video in this series. Next, I will get into the ones that I did play. I hope you enjoy. Bye!